Hi, and welcome to the Bellarmine Sports Show. I'm Gabe Smith. This is RJ Perkins. We have a couple of really good stories for you today. RJ, you're up first. What have you got for us?
All right, so I have for you is a story on the member on the club basketball team here at Bellarmine, who, even though he might not be the star player of the team, he does all the dirty work and makes all the little plays on the team. Here's a quick look. Garrett Skaman has made great contributions to the team and has also had a great impact, being that this is his first year as a member of the Bellarmine club basketball team.
I think willingness to move the ball is probably my greatest contribution on the team. I'm not too worried about how many points I get and stuff like that, so I think that really helps with ball movement and helps other people get their shots because I know other people want shots. So Garrett's greatest strengths are probably just being that grit and grind defensive guy, just hustling it on offense and defense every play.
Garrett has been that physical person that you look for in every team. He doesn't mind getting physical with their biggest person, even though he's clearly not the biggest person, even on our team. He looks to get rebounds, and he looks to make mid-range things for the game, and it works perfect for him.
Garrett is someone you call an all-around player. Even though he might not score all the points, he does all the dirty work, such as defense, rebounding, and assists.
In Garrett's first year on the team, he's made an impact on really both sides of the ball, but it's all the hustle plays, the rebounds, guarding the best player if somebody can't guard him, and he's always in help position doing the right thing. I think since I've been here, I've really improved on my shot a little bit. I think I've gotten a better jump shot, got a lot more confidence in my jump shot. I think I've improved my awareness on the floor too. I've just been more aware of what's going on and things like that.
Well, since the beginning of the year around trials, I was looking to find him somewhere in the lineup, whether it be starting or coming off the bench. And each day you can tell that he works harder and harder at what he does. At first he was just solely a mid-range guy. I talked to him one-on-one. They're saying that you have to step up if you're going to start winning games. And over Christmas break and even last semester, he stepped up and he started getting into the gym more and everything. And now he took a couple of steps back, and now he shoots threes just as good. So when he continuously shoots and works hard, he gets better every day. And that's where, as a coach, I have to stay on him to where I have to tell him, you need to do this with this. And he goes to the gym and work on it. And as you see, now he's in the starting lineup and putting up points, and he's got a lot of rebounds. So he's gotten better as a person and as a player.
So when you check out one of the Bellarmine men's club basketball games, look for Garrett, as he's going to be the one that puts forth the most effort out of anybody on the team, down for loose balls, making great defensive efforts. This is RJ Perkins, Bellarmine Sports, signing off.
RJ, good story. Now, I am wondering, did Garrett play basketball in high school, or was it just something that he sort of picked up here and he's gotten as good as he is now?
Well, I believe he did play basketball back at high school, but as soon as he found out about our club program here, he decided to give it a shot and try out, and then now he's basically a key contributor on the team this year.
Yeah, I know you're on the club basketball team. What has been your favorite aspect of having him on the court out there with you?
What I think is basically his greatest strengths is what I said in the piece earlier. Basically his overall defense, how he makes all the little plays. He does all the dirty work for us in teams such as rebounding, basically is guarding whoever can't guard their own man, and stuff like that. I think that makes a great impact on the team.
Earlier this week, I had a chance to sit down with a couple of new international soccer players here at Bellarmine. Here's that story. This past fall, the Bellarmine men's soccer team welcomed 4 new international players to the team. Eddie Williamson from Stockholm, Sweden, Simon Johnson from Gothenburg, Sweden, Jonas Skolstad from Agerston, Norway, and Thomas Bernardo, who's from Santiago, Chile. While all 4 of them are from different places, they all have similar stories about how they got to Bellarmine.
I contacted an agency back home. They work with sending people, mostly like soccer players, but also other kinds of athletes, to America on collegiate scholarships. And we videotaped me. My dad watched me play, filmed me, and then we sent the video out to all these coaches all over the country. And Tim Chastanay, head coach of Bellarmine soccer team, responded, as well as a few others. But Bellarmine was by far the best school that I got in contact with.
So there was this program in Chile called One Sports Chile, that is in charge of taking students from Chile who also wants to play soccer to the United States.
Culturally, it's been a huge change for all 4 of these players, but they've enjoyed being here in the U.S.
Socially, it's been pretty good. I mean, we're youths all over the planet. We're kind of the same. We like the same kind of stuff. Like, weather-wise, it was difficult when I came here. It was 80 degrees and the humidity, and we practiced twice a day. That was tough. Of course, you know, family aspect. I miss my family daily, but I've been away from them before, so I'm doing fine, I think.
Oh, it was a huge change. So like the first months were really hard. I thought that my English was good enough, but I remember first month it was so hard, like to understand everything, to be like participating in conversations. It was unbelievable. It was a complete new environment.
Living without parents and living in a dorm. I live in a quad with 3 other people, and it's just, you definitely feel the lack of privacy, but also it's one of the most enjoyable things is living in a dorm with like 3 best friends. Yeah. So yeah, the lack of privacy, not having parents who can cook a meal, do laundry, and all that stuff.
While the rules in the game are still the same, they've all noticed big differences between the way they played back at home and the way they play here at Bellarmine.
I think the game is much quicker here. Things goes faster, much more physical. I think that applies to American sports in general. American sports tend to produce athletes, physical athletes, and I've noticed that in the game here. Technically, it's about the same as back home. Tactically, I'd say maybe Sweden is slightly better, but you're much better physically, so it sort of balances.
I feel like it might be a little bit more technical here. I play with like seniors back home, which were like up in the 20s and like really good athletes. But it's definitely challenging here too. And the level's really good, and the GLC everything, I will say. So I'm happy about the level, yeah.
Totally different. Like in Chile, we always talk that when you come to the United States, it's so much more physical. Like we're never doing like lifting, all that kind of stuff. We don't have those kind of pre-seasons. In Chile, it's more just like playing with the ball. We don't have that. And of course, the language changed a lot. So you have to. I remember during pre-season, they give you this book with all the soccer terms, and I remember I was in my bed like studying it just to like be better on the field.
Eddie isn't exactly sure what he wants to do here in the U.S. once he graduates, but he knows he wants to stick around.
I'm planning on staying. My visa is for 5 years, so I can stay 1 year after college. I'm planning on doing that, looking for jobs. It's too early as of now. I'm only a freshman, but the way I see things progressing now, then yeah, I'd like to stay for at least a year.
While the bond with everyone else in the team is strong, it's even stronger between these 4 because they're not from the U.S.
We can identify with each other, and like we really know what each going through. Like being away from home is hard sometimes, so we can like support each other and like and know how it feels though, like to be away from home that far. Yeah.
While they have enjoyed the cultural aspects of the U.S., all these players have at least one food they wish they could bring back from their homeland.
They always call cazuela. So it's like a kind of soup with rice, and you have corn. And especially now that we're in spring, that is really cold, it would be so nice to have it. Or maybe you hear about these empanadas. Have you ever heard about that? It's like this thing that you can have it with cheese, with shrimps, or with meat. It's so good.
It would probably be the bread. So like freshly baked bread. And in the morning, I really enjoy that. That was what I had for breakfast all my 18 years living in Norway.
Swedish meatballs.
While all 4 of these players did have good seasons in their first year here at Bellarmine, Eddie Williamson took home the GLVC Freshman of the Year award. You can catch these guys on the turf next fall. For Bellarmine Sports Broadcasting, I'm Gabe Smith.
All right, that was a great story, Gabe. Now, first question. How well do you think they've been able to gel with themselves and also the rest of the team, being that they come from different countries, so they have different playing styles?
Yeah, I think it was a little tough at the beginning, especially with some of the guys. Tomas had a little bit of trouble with the language because he speaks Spanish in Chile. But I think they've done a really good job, especially after their first semester. I mean, you saw Eddie won Freshman of the Year in the GLVC, which is a huge award for him. I think they've done a really nice job gelling together with themselves and with the team.
All right. Another question I had for you was earlier in the show, or in the piece, you said that they had favorite foods that they would, like to bring back here to America. If you had one to pick first, which one would it be and why?
I think it would have to be Tomas's. It's a soup. I think he called it cazuela. It sounded really, really good when he described it to me. It sounded like it had rice and beef and stuff like that, and it sounded delicious. That would have to be number one.
Okay. Well, that concludes this week's broadcasting show, and we have another one for you next week. Thanks for watching.